Hey there, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Rachel Smith. Normally this channel is dedicated to Tin Whistle and Ocarina covers and originals, but since someone asked nicely, I decided to go ahead and give this Ocarina a review. So, before we start, full disclaimer, I'm not being paid for this review at all. This is just my personal opinions about my experiences with this Ocarina, so let's get into it. So this is the Aria from STL Ocarina. It was designed by Chris Gale, and as you can see, it is a 12-hole alto C. It is listed on the website as a tenor C, but that's a whole other debate. Just know it's an alto C. So as such, it has a octave and a half range. It's fully chromatic, and it comes in two different color options. This black and green glazed, you can see that, and a solid black, which I believe is not glazed. So I think it runs about $65 to $80 depending on if there's a sale. I'm pretty sure when my parents bought this around Christmas time, it was on sale for $65 or something. So it's pretty inexpensive and has a nice design. It's very aesthetically pleasing with a nice little tapered tail, which actually does come in handy when you play it, and we'll get into that later. So yeah, here's the sound sample. So as you could probably hear, it has a pretty nice, clear, kind of mellow, at least to me, compared to my tin whistles, probably is what I'm comparing it to. So it just sounds kind of mellow to me, but it's really nice, clear tone that I personally like. Probably better than my tin whistles. But yeah, I also like that it's chromatic. Breath curve is pretty normal, I would say. I mean, you have to put like really light amount of air, as you could probably hear, for like the A, the low A, and like the farther you go up, the more air you have to put in. That's pretty natural. Um, I would say you have to put a little bit extra air than feels natural for like the D and up, from what I remember when I first started playing last year, when I got it right after Christmas. So just keep that in mind if you ever like consider this ocarina, but it's not something that would hinder you. It's not something you can't learn. So just keep that in mind. I'm pretty sure on her video about this ocarina, Chris Gale mentioned that she designed it for people with large hands, and I do not have large hands. But it's not impossible to play. I do remember having a little bit of trouble figuring out how to cover the sub holes properly. It's just a matter of figuring out where the holes are and how to get them covered. So like that also wouldn't be a factor to hinder anybody from playing. I think it is a beginner friendly ocarina because I mean I'm a beginner. This is my one and only 12 hole, and I've done okay with it. It took some time figuring out like the breath curve and the whole positioning of your hands, but it's not impossible to play for someone with smaller hands. That being said, I think the design is really really nice for beginners because as you could see from the sound sample, it makes it a lot easier to like grip. The tail does when you're playing the high F or anything like that, like E, and yeah, it just makes it so much easier to hold the ocarina, not worry about like covering up any of these holes here and messing up your tone and playing the wrong note. So like it's super super easy to figure out. Like once you learn where to position your fingers and how to go from the lower notes to the higher notes and position your hand, it's not too hard. It makes it a pretty beginner friendly ocarina in my opinion. But take that with a grain of salt because I do have a little bit of an experience with other instruments, so that might be part of why it wasn't too big of a deal for me, but either way, I think it'd be very, very good for beginners. So yeah, quick recap. The Aria is a pretty inexpensive ocarina. I would also say it's a pretty beginner-friendly ocarina in that the shape makes it easy to play the high notes and easy to like work your way up to them without dropping it and without accidentally covering the wrong holes. May take some getting used to for people with smaller hands who may have a little trouble covering the sub holes. That's just something you would have to learn with practice, and I think it is very, very doable. It has a nice tone. It's, I would say, like, for a beginner ocarina for the price, it's got a pretty decent sound, like pretty professional enough sound. I mean, I've done some recordings with it. I plan on doing recordings with it for the time being, so would I recommend it? Yes, I would. So if you liked this video, please give it a like and consider subscribing. Also, if you like Ocarina and Tin Whistle covers and originals, please stick around because I should be getting more out soon. May take a while, but soon. Anyway, bye!